Early kill, early quick games, that's for sure. If you want to go and see a movie in Europe tonight, you probably still have time with how fast the Pro League is going today. Let's see how picks and bans go for game 2, though, and see if Cyclone can actually weather the storm a little bit more, find a couple more wins here. Well, at least victories in the game itself, not maybe the whole game.
Yeah, they don't want to fall too far behind going into the remainder of these 3 weeks coming up before the group stages come up.
And the first pick, first ban this time round, so they definitely chose that one for themselves here. So it could switch things up a little bit here, as Paradigm will get the last pick opportunity. And I wouldn't mind seeing, I'm trying to work out what I want to see, because I feel VoteNBK had a very good game in the duo lane there, didn't have any real issues with Funballer whatsoever. I think he's fine. Deathwalker, the Ymir didn't really work out.
I would say that's true for sure, especially against Erlang Shen. I'm sorry, against the Ravana and the Aokwang coming out of the jungle. He was getting dove under the tier 1 tower with a Neath ultimate as well. It was making it really difficult for him to stay alive. He had great pressure level 2, level 3 because of his strategy where he went towards right side mid harpies, hit level 3, teleported back to the solo lane, and it just wasn't enough damage though to really get the kill onto Xaliea.
Well, pretty standard bans coming out from both teams there, but with the Houyi Aokwang ban, Susano does get through, and Cyclone will pick that one up for themselves, so it's back to Paradigm for what they want to focus on here. They didn't worry about picking up Bacchus last time round, they let it go through and slip away. I wonder if they'll look to do it again.
They knew that they were going to get the Guan Yu. Paradigm, they wanted to go for the sustain option instead of the initiation. They were very content with also giving up the Vulcan, the Bacchus, but they had a great counter pick strategy of negating the Willish.
It does seem very much likely that Vulcan seems to be the priority pick for second team here, because obviously as the #1 team, the first pick, you don't go for Vulcan as your first pick. There's other priority picks there, but the mid lane, you want Vulcan, so team 2 always seems to get it now.
And on top of the Vulcan, you're going to get Erlang Shen for Xaliea, who wants to play aggressive. We saw how he played with the Ravana in the last game. Now, a more aggressive god going to be Erlang Shen, just going to poke out constantly.
Seen him rush the Iqval when he's actually picked that one up as well, so we'll see if he goes back to it this game. Raijin for Cyclone in the mid lane for Wlfy there, and then this time round, Deathwalker will switch things up, knowing he's probably against Erlang Shen here by picking the Bellona.
We haven't really seen Bellona quite often in the Season 3, whether it was the Spring Split or now going into the Fall Split, both SCL and SPL, and it's going to be more prevalent to start picking up Bellona against these magical hunters, the Chronos, the Freyas, the Souls.
How's the matchup against Erlang Shen though? Because we saw it early on today, and I don't think Bellona has the greatest of matchups against Erlang.
Well, she's really good in laning phase against any god because of her kit in general, but in team fights, I would say Erlang Shen just slightly provides more pressure with the constant knockups, also that huge AoE taunt.
You know in laning phase as well, because you play way more solo than me, that's why I'm asking you. Would you max Bludgeon against the Erlang Shen because he'll knock you up every time?
I would go for sustain.
Scourge?
I would max out Scourge, trying to out-sustain him. Just utilize, all you need is level 1 Bludgeon, so you clear the whole wave in general with your AoE splash, and then from there, in between waves, if Erlang Shen wants to poke you out, you'll just out-sustain him anyway.
And disarm him too, so we can't actually use any of those in-hands. That's where I was looking at it myself. Fenrir though, was picked up by Paradigm. The counter bans come through. Guan Yu and Freya from Cyclone respecting the duo lane of Paradigm. And Bacchus and Geb respecting the support player of CycloneGG.
I'm really surprised the Geb ban coming out of Paradigm. More passive style support. We see a lot of Bacchuses, Fafnirs, Ares, aggressive style support. So Geb not really fitting in that role. Left open Athena.
I think it's more to do with the Fenrir though, because obviously Fenrir with the Ragnarok, we saw it against the game against Panthera. Wasn't a whole lot QvoFred could do, because every time you use Ragnarok, the Geb shield comes out and there's no his automatic escape.
That's a great point. Countering the Fenrir Ragnarok is a big deal, so smart ban. Athena and Anhur going to get picked up by CycloneGG. Going to have an aggressive duel lane with that one taunt into Desert Fury. Have to be careful if you're Chronos, because you might not find the rewind.
We'll see what it can do with the end. Ravana again picked up, so hang on a second. Is this an Erlang Shen support? Bit of spice? Fenrir support?
Fenrir solo?
No, come on. It's either Fenrir support or Erlang Shen support. That's what I'm seeing.
Okay, I'm seeing Erlang Shen support here.
Okay.
That's what I'm seeing.
I'd actually think Fenrir more. Right?
Because in the duel lane, you're going to look for clear, and out of all those 3 gods, I would say Erlang Shen would provide you the most efficient clear in the early duel lane phase.
Damn, you're good at that. Calling out where you think people are going to go. Trixtank will be playing Erlang Shen. So far, this god has been played solo, jungle, and now for his first game in the support role. I don't think it's that standard, though, this one, honestly, totally. I think this is more Paradigm. We're very comfortable against Cyclone after that first game, that they're doing a little bit of experimentation to maybe either throw their opponents off, but also throw future opposition off as well. Yeah,
you have to provide these kind of strategies. You won the first game so convincingly. I think it was like 11-2, and there just wasn't that much pressure from CycloneGG. So Paradigm is feeling very confident.
No, Trixtank. Okay, so he's got Wrath on the Erlang Shen, and you can see he's not taking an ability yet, because you know what he's going for. He's going for the Trixtank special.
He's going to be able to sneak in this red buff and then just mink or turtle away.
I think he's got to make sure he doesn't get caught out of position. There's no wards down on the side of Cyclone, but they've just pulled it now, and he's going to try and get in range, but I'm pretty sure they've got spotted walking around that corner. Maybe not, actually, because he's going to be able to pull it. He needs to do a few in-hands to steal this one away, first of all, to guarantee the Wrath at the moment, and he will get it. And there's the turtle, the brave little turtle that could.
I think the first time we've seen this strategy out of him was during the Super Regionals when he was playing Sun Wukong. Similar style, just a different god.
Well, he's done it a lot of times in the past on the Sun Wukong, and then actually Sun Touch when he was playing support last year, ran it all the time on backers, but mainly focusing on the speed buff start to make that work for himself. Trixtank, though, still adapting it today.
It's smart to go for either one. I could see the idea behind going for speed because you want to shut down the jungler early on, allow your jungler to snowball instead, but putting a red buff onto a warrior support,
with the pin,
you're controlling the dual lane now so hard.
And here's the thing that I'm looking at with this as well, Tolly, because with Trixtank, I think if you ever see Trixtank playing a god that has an ability called 72 transformations, you should ward your jungle on the invaded red.
Well, they warded the top left mid harpies, but they didn't see the path that Trixtank went underneath, and now Funballer Trixtank clearing the wave. They're going to look to play very aggressive still.
Just trying to put some poke pressure down, and you can see Trixtank's wave play is very effective even without the pin there. Obviously, those in-hands do actually end up giving the AoE effect.
Have to be so careful. Also, one for the Death's Toll. Doesn't have that much defense, electing to go, not to go mark the Vanguard or that Warrior's Gift.
And it's not too bad to actually play it this way just because of the fact you do have a taunt, just like Athena. You know, you can taunt to initiate a fight for your team if you want to, and have them follow up. And not only that, they do have QvoFred there, as the stun did connect there, and the pressure is on to Athena. Athena in a lot of trouble. Till to get out of the way. One more hit's needed, maybe two, maybe three. I'm lying. Trixtank needs one more, but Funballer will secure it.
Such an aggressive dash early on, but hold that thought. Anhur's still in a lot of trouble, finding the impale, but gonna jump away. Just one more pin will find the kill. Trixtank getting credited for that one. And the Athena dash, just to clear the wave, was too ambitious. You have a red buff on the Trixtank. You have to respect the damage out of this duel lane.
And you got to respect the fact that this Funballer and Trixtank as well have been together for a very long time, as well as they're both playing aggressive gods. You know, it's not just a sit-back support player that you may see. It's not an early game backers that's slow to ramp up. It's not a Geb. It's actually a warrior, and it's a completely different playstyle.
And you have to also be careful because sometimes you have to go behind the archers and dash from the archers to the melee minutes. If you're going to go from the melee to the archers, you're basically stating that, okay, we're just going to out-clear you, and then we're going to look for poke, but it didn't work out for Cyclone.
Well, Wlfy in the mid lane. We've not even looked at mid lane just yet. Playing the Raijin here, working for a bit of defense online, and Lawbster up against him today, gone for the Vamp Shroud start as well. Only the Wrath really the difference, and Wrath and Shell in terms of relics so far this game.
And the reason why Raijin's going for this defensive option against QvoFred is the Fenrir on the Qvo, paired up with Lawbster's Vulcan. You have to respect the burst damage, so you have to survive early game. iceicebabyy on the Susano, looking to clear out those fire elementals on the right-hand side. Being forced back to base, but he's given an option for Qvo to invade the jungle here, and he's going to find a nice surprise. The back harpies are available. He's going to neglect the back right harpies because the speed and blue are respawning. Gonna look for a solo kill. Deathwalker walking away. Still has the ultimate available, and just like that, gonna
still get run down though by the Ragnarok as well. Athena may come in to try and support this one though, to give some protections, and he's turned on its head. Callus gets the taunt off on Xaliea, so the bludgeon could have confirmed, but overhead kick on the mock. Deathwalker though, out of mana, pushing in for the secondary kill. We could have seen Cyclone try and disengage that one, Tolly.
Trading one for one, that was really aggressive from Qvo. I like the idea that he tried to go for the Ragnarok, but committing under the tower, absorbing about 4 tower shots or so, like there's no way you're gonna survive that.
Tornado does hit Trixtank, followed by a Thunder Crash too. He taunts 2 and he's going to get a heal, but the drums of war have sounded. No heals today for you, Sunshine. Wlfy and iceicebabyy combine.
This is too early for Paradigm to play this aggressive. Compared to the last game, when they were this aggressive, they had such a very high, comfortable lead. They were getting these small objectives, you know, taking the speed buff, getting a kill on the blue buff. We saw QvoFred. He was looking for the back right harpies. Instead, he wanted to go for a kill onto Bellona that still had her ultimate.
And Trixtank this game, you know, playing the warrior, not going for the defensive route at all. Death's Toll, warrior tabby. Squishy, that's a big key there. They realized he can burst him down in mid lane, and Trixtank just didn't expect to have as much force onto him.
Not at all, but he still has the Wrath, so there could be offensive plays in terms of invading the red buff, looking for more invades. And Paradigm, they're looking for these aggressive plays, but they're not looking for them together, which is the big issue.
It's true. I mean, Cyclone have got decent start this game. We're picking up 2 kills already in this one, but the gold is still an advantage, about 1,000 now in favor of Paradigm already, as the right fire elementals do go down in their favor.
QvoFred still a level ahead of iceicebabyy, surprisingly. We see Xaliea as well in his solo lane matchup, so that could be something to exploit as the speed buffs will respawn in about 3 minutes or so. So neglecting for the invades, punishing with his life, now just going to contentfully farm safely.
I haven't spoke about Lawbster yet, but back to the Vulcan again, his 3rd game of it this season. Do more, but now online, so the damage from the Vulcan will start mounting as this game goes on.
I love the decision behind this Doom Orb. You have such an aggressive front line between Trixtank on the Erlang, Shen, Qvo on the Fenrir. Wlfy, you're going to get pulled very early, 5 minutes in.
Well, iceicebaby's here to look at it. At the moment, VoteNBK at about 75% health in the lane, but Paradigm don't recognize that one. They just want to see if there was a response, so they go back to their own jungle. Leave the turret there, though, just to give them some extra vision.
With the Sentry Ward from Paradigm, they felt very comfortable going for it. As soon as they saw iceicebabyy, the discipline was there just to instantly back off.
Yeah, just good pressure coming out from Paradigm for the time being here, but Cyclone doing a good job of keeping an eye on their opposition here. Solo lane, Deathwalker getting a little bit low here against Xaliea, kind of to be expected in this matchup for now.
And I don't like the idea that Deathwalker has. He's maxing out the bludgeon against Ravana in mid lane, not connecting with the taunt, but going back to solo, for example, you can overhead kick the bludgeon the whole time, so there's no reason to really level that up in this matchup. You want to be able to out-sustain the Ravana.
Jump in from Qvo, just off the mark there. Susano did get away from it. On the right-hand side, though, Xaliea managed to force Deathwalker back to base. Doesn't have teleport either. So this is a free opportunity here for Xaliea to apply a lot of pressure on this tier 1 tower as the rest of his team start drawing attention to the Gold Fury.
Trixtank finding the knockout, gonna force out the leaf from the Anhur. Lawbster forced to use Purification around gold. Ragnarok gonna force out the ultimate from NBK, and now with iceicebabyy around the corner, gonna find a kill.
But QvoFred just overextended too much. The rest of his team went to the Gold Fury, and Qvo went, no, I can clean this one up on my own. Didn't respect the amount of burst coming out from the Desert Fury from VoteNBK and iceicebabyy coming in. So it's answered back, and Qvo's aggression punished again.
And also not respecting the fact that Kalis has that global ultimate, trying to aggress onto Lawbster. He doesn't have Purification, trying to counter ultimate, and barely finding that last hit. Wlfy connecting.
Every single hit of that ultimate went through after the Raijin jump in as well. Very, very well played by the duo lane here. Sorry, I say duo lane, but generally the jungle and mid are a duo lane anyway.
You have to synergize with your Athena, always be in position, and Athena was doing a great job zoning away Lawbster around the Gold Fury, forced that early Purification, which allowed the kill for 30 seconds later on.
We're going to be a fast game this time around. 7 kills, 7 minutes in so far. I say fast game in terms of just kills overall. All the games today have been pretty much quick. Xaliea under red pressure here as iceicebabyy doing a pretty good job in the jungle for himself now. 2 kills to his name so far. Some good rotations and good pickups.
And you were mentioning that there's so many kills compared to last game. It's because of just how aggressive Paradigm are looking for these kinds of strategies. They were going for the solo lane with QvoFred diving the tower. Didn't really work out for him. He was going for the left side, almost diving the tower, and with a great counter rotation from iceicebabyy. Paradigm, now they don't have the same lead at this time they did the last game.
But the funny thing about that is down to their composition too. I mean, they've picked a bit of jank here with the Erlang Shen. I want to say maybe we'll see it played more, and I won't say that ever again, but seeing the Erlang Shen into the support role this time around and seeing how aggressive they've been, it's not like they disrespect Cyclone here, it's just because the game was so confident for them last game, they feel that they can push their boundaries a little bit more here.
It could have been cleaner for sure. Like, found the red buff invade. They had so many options in terms of invading the back right, Harpies, the speed, and the blue that were respawning. It could have been an option that Paradigm exploited and opened the game wide open.
Well, Gold Fury was being looked at for a second by Paradigm. Not really, though. They wanted the balls at the back. Cyclone realized there was multiple members missing on the map and went, maybe they're at the gold, and turned up to find out it's perfectly fine for now.
Well, sometimes you're going to smell the dog from a distance, sometimes you're not.
Yeah, the Celestial Dog?
The Celestial Beam?
Bobo?
Bobo.
That's what I call it now. I wasn't on the patch and I called it Bobo, and everyone was like, oh, okay, we'll call it Bobo. Bobo the dog with Trixtank going along in the jungle right now. That's not QvoFred's new name. He's Fenrir still this game. But the Gold Fury this time around has been forced by Paradigm, and Cyclone we're not in a position to try and contest that at all. Too slow on the response.
With the Vulcan ultimate and the Wrath from Trixtank, guaranteed Gold Fury goes down in about 4 seconds flat. Paradigm doing a great job just grouping up, recognizing CycloneGG were out of position.
Can we just see the experience graphs here for each of the players? Hang on a second, because Deathwalker's in trouble over on this right-hand side. One more hit from Death here. Xaliea secures the solo kill onto the new solo laner into the Pro League.
Just having the Breastplate of Valor before the defensive item from Deathwalker finishes is allowing allowing him to win these trades. Now Xaliea level ahead and can still push out this tower, forcing the rotation from iceicebabyy.
2,000 experience, 2,000 gold lead for Paradigm now. I was just interested in how the experience was going here because I felt like Paradigm were doing a very good job as a team of grouping up together to share the experience out.
Xaliea still not done playing aggressive, forcing iceicebabyy back under the tower. And now with the rotation from Trixtank and QvoFred, this tier 1 tower should go down.
Well, teleport is available for Deathwalker to come back into the tower here. Susano still hanging around. You can see Callus trying to make a rotation on the Athena, but Trixtank going to box him out. And even Wlfy too. A little bit risky though as he gets taunted in there. Xaliea though picks up iceicebabyy in a single kill, I believe. I don't even think Qvo made an impact there as he was taking a tier 1 tower.
Trixtank was just doing a good job zoning Callus with the ultimate, trying to hurt QvoFred on the backside, force a Ragnarok away. Wlfy using his ultimate, trying to catch Qvo, but going to jump away.
And jumped on by Xaliea as well. Wlfy's on cooldown, but a great taunt from Callus. So slow him down again. Xaliea trying to get in range, has her overhead kick away. Still being run on Vulcan off the mark here. Lawbster turns up, but Xalia's already dead. They are going to run away from the peg leg mid laner.
Deathwalker making the great rotation after respawn. Teleport was available for him. So finding an overall 1-for-1 as they did take out iceicebabyy, but Paradigm walk away with a tier 1 tower on the right.
So the tier 1 tower means overall that it works out in their favor still, even though it doesn't really look like it totally.
It's just more map control as well, because now they can't retreat behind that tower. Lawbster doing a good job trying to steal the speed buff, was in a position where he didn't really have to commit, because as long as you have the Vulcan turret inside the little circle, you could still fire your meatball, your backfire, and your enhance outside of the circle.
Well, left-hand side, we not spoke about VoteNBK and Funballer in a while since the start, but doing a good job is VoteNBK of pinning Funballer back, but that Doom mob is now starting to stack. Transcendence is finished for him as well, and Funballer feeling himself now.
NBK forced to jump away. Funballer is always feeling himself. He's not afraid to take these fights, especially when he's 2 levels ahead and his rewind is still available.
And not just that, his support was on the way. Erlang Shen in the jungle there, looking at the balls and maybe coming round, but VoteNBK, good position under his tower, had his teammates in response too, so he will get his own balls, had not have them stolen.
Wlfy responding in about 2.5 minutes. There's going to be a little bit of pressure from Paradigm because they want to still continue this little tier 1 pressure. If it's not going to be middle, then it's definitely duo.
Well, pressure on to Trixtank one more time here, who's under a lot of pressure. The Impale, very well executed. They use as an execute by the Anhur. VoteNBK credit for a kill, and Trixtank still not respecting how squishy he is.
He found the ultimate, but didn't have enough sustain and durability to survive until the heal procced, so finding a death. And now Paradigm, they have to play without their support, but it doesn't really matter because Xaliea, he's still so aggressive, pushing the tier 2 on the right.
Yeah, he's keeping them busy. QvoFred's on the left-hand side here on the Fenrir as well, looking to try to pressure VoteNBK, but there's an Eagles rally onto Xaliea. Wlfy swinging around the corner, as you can see, as we tune in with him, trying to close the gap and really pressure out Xaliea, but Xaliea actually picks up sprint and uses it very wisely.
Very characteristic, I would say, of Xaliea. He's normally very aggressive and he wants to fight, but he knew the rotation from Wlfy was coming up. Meanwhile, Paradigm, they're able to push out this left-hand side. Nobody was really in position to defend.
Yeah, VoteNBK falls back to base there, so had to give it up, but they want to aggress now. Taunt only hits onto Funballer, who forces a purification, but just walk away to the boys of Paradigm here. They don't bite off anymore, as 2 members of Paradigm now in mid, pressuring onto Wlfy.
Wlfy is slightly weakened here. Trixtank trying to bait a little bit. Gonna set up the Vulcan ult.
Oh, that was beautiful. Didn't even use his ultimate to do that either, because it was on cooldown. Just a knock-up at the exact time. That's very good communication between those two.
And now Xaliea is very low. He doesn't have the ultimate or the sprint. Gonna fall. Great rotation from Callus. Now with that 1 death, Cyclone, they could be the ones pushing mid.
It's a kill fiesta this one round, Tolly. The only difference is that I can see between this kill fiesta is that when Paradigm gets some kills, they are also getting the objectives too. Cyclone are just trading 1-for-0s, 1-for-1s at best.
Yes, Paradigm, they've been on top of the objective game. Cyclone, they need to pick it back up. They don't have the Rav to deal with the counter steal potential out of Trixtank, so they can't really go for Gold Furies, but they do need to go for tower, especially while Xaliea is still dead.
I'm very interested in these 2 supports as well this game, both going for shoes, the shoes of the Magi's Blessing, I should say, this time round. As a very early item, one of the first main items they've picked up. Very surprising to see that.
Well, you want to be sure that you're not going to get picked up by the Ragnarok for the side of Callus.
Yeah.
For Trixtank specifically, there's a decent amount of CC from Cyclone as well. The taunt can just set up so much damage.
Well, right inside, the Harpies are about to spawn. Meatball hits onto Deathwalker there. He felt that one, that's for sure. As that Doom Orb from the mid lane of Lawbster is online, and he's working on his Wing Blade now as well.
Wlfy might get caught underneath here. We see the rotation from Trixtank. Gonna find the root, but gonna Thunder Crash right away. iceicebabyy and Callus right around the corner if anything gets too hairy.
But the Wlfy has just respawned this time around. Wall coverage in favor of Cyclone for the time being here. Trixtank going to go in first of all and have a little look at those left-hand Harpies. Not there in time, though. There's no pressure on the Wlfy for now.
Even if Cyclone does have vision around the Wlfy, the speed and the rate that Paradigm got the last Wlfy, I wouldn't be surprised if they just force it anyway.
Back to mid lane they go, and they're looking at Wlfy one more time here. Trixtank getting hit by Raijin and walks into Callus, going to get taunted again, but a good turtle form from him. Thunder crashed on to stop that one out. Actually ulted there as well. Didn't connect with anyone, but he will still heal.
Just wants to be sure that the last time he tried to go aggressive, he fell. So now this time around, I'm going to make sure that I'm not going to die.
VoteNBK just going to zone away Funballer for a second there. The positional advantage for Paradigm at the moment. Talking about positional advantage, Callus gets a good taunt off onto 2, but I don't think he really wanted that because now he's collapsed on Vulcan, all on the mark as well. Good Cyclone Tornado coming out from iceicebabyy there, but he's going to disengage as well. Meanwhile, Xaliea is finding Wlfy on his own over on this left-hand side, and now Wlfy goes down. Eagles rally on the mark from Deathwalker, but there's no follow-up.
The rewind from Funballer, he's going to be able to continue the onslaught. He wants to be aggressive, forcing the jump from NBK, and now Wlfy is open for Paradigm. However, with Trixtank backing, the Wrath is actually on cooldown. It was used in the team fight.
Yeah, 2 for O exchange though in favor of Paradigm there. Everybody's going to walk back to their base and buy up again. Couple more seconds though until Wlfy spawns. You can see 15. So Paradigm could get back here relatively quick to start the Wlfy. And with no Wrath and no ultimates available, they may just hold off on that.
It's risky, especially with Callus having his ultimate available. Didn't use it in the last team fight, but off of the respawn. That's what you kind of want to do as an Athena anyway. You want to try to survive the initial burst, back to base, get healthy again, and then ultimate in.
Well, VoteNBK is going to be very careful on this left-hand side. Without that tier 1 tower, you could see Fenrir in the jungle. And actually, talking about it, they are going to go for the Wlfy here. We said it was a little bit risky with no ultimates available, but I don't think they're too worried. They're trying to force a fight, Paradigm, actually. They're very slow on doing this gold.
They're very confident. Great meatball. Going to stop the Mad Guy's shield coming out of Callus. Now there could be an initiation.
Well, Trixtank has his ultimate up now, as you can see on the screen. May look for it very early, and there it is. Onto 2 targets. Getting purification off of Anhur. And Fenrir dived into the back line as well, looking for VoteNBK. Xaliea, actually, I should say. And Xaliea forcing them back one more time with the ping coming out as well. They're just poking the boys of Cyclone down here, Paradigm.
And Deathwalker was doing a good job zoning in the back. Use the thorns and a lot of return damage on top of Funballer. Doesn't have the same sustain as the first game with the Guanyu Trixtank. So different style from Paradigm. They have to look for more of a initial burst.
Callus going to taunt onto Trixtank, but there's 2 members around him as well. Going to get pinned in place. Callus has everything on cooldown, but luckily enough, they're looking elsewhere at the moment. They're looking at iceicebabyy, a Paradigm, trying to run him down, but he's a highly mobile assassin that's not going to be easy to pick off.
Definitely not the target you want to try to chase down. I was more surprised that Paradigm didn't elect to go for Wlfy. He Thunder Crashed right in front of Trixtank's face. Could have been potential turtle form knockup.
Jumping in, landing onto Qvo, but going to get the taunt in response and just disengage.
Great brutalize to make sure he wasn't going to get taunted. Wlfy Thunder Crashing in mid lane, but Paradigm, they're electing not to put pressure on this tier 1 mid tower. They want to just slow down the pace of the game, wait for the Wrath to come back online, which it is now, and elect to go for more of the smaller objectives instead.
I mean, Paradigm are still beating them here as you see the Wlfy being done, but Cyclone are doing such a better job of surviving and engaging these fights. They've got to defend the Wlfy though. Taunt from Callus is going in as the Vulcan was already dropped there. Wlfy goes the way there of Paradigm, but the fight may not.
QvoFred very low, forced to jump away. Trixtank is out of the fight as well. Wlfy going to be the first victim. Xaliea doing a good job. Lawbster forced to use Sanctuary.
How did Lawbster get out? No, he didn't. iceicebabyy will clean up and disengage. VoteNBK on the front line. It's not a place you want to be as a hunter. He's forced to leap away. Xaliea giving chase though with Funballer, and a good taunt from Callus will slow him down one more time. He disengages off to the left, and Xaliea is still giving chase. Callus though choosing the wrong direction to run this time, and Xaliea will pick up Callus on that left-hand side. There's no escape for the support player.
He realized there was no tier 1 tower to fall back on. iceicebabyy doing a great job juking. He is so mobile, and Funballer, he has the rewind, and this is why he's playing this aggressive. He wants to find the kill.
Great play from iceicebabyy to keep himself alive for so long, but the Sanctuary saved Funballer from almost death. VoteNBK though going to come in, find Funballer. No rewind available, but no impale either.
NBK forced to jump away. He's extremely low. Paradigm, they have a 3-player advantage, but Deathwalker is coming back alive. He has to teleport, and this is why Paradigm are disengaging after that small engagement win.
I do like the look of Cyclone in this game, though. I know they're losing this one totally here, but some of the stuff they're doing is really good. The way they peeled for each other in that last engagement, Callus, chose to go up the lane instead of down with no tower being there. I can forgive that, but at the same time, I like the way they all helped each other out, get out of the engagement when it's going bad.
It was also great positioning from iceicebabyy. He found the Typhoon through the side as Paradigm were coming down south. The Typhoon basically zoned 3 members away from the team fight. Lawbster was caught in an awkward position. He had nowhere to go, was forced to use Sanctuary, but he still fell down.
The best thing I can see about Cyclone is their engages are very good when they want to initiate. Their disengages are pretty good too. It's that middle part of these team fights that they seem to struggle in. Maybe they get a bit confused about who they want to go on, who they want to aggress on, or maybe it's just not right there just now.
And with Funballer being level 19, very close to 20, these team fights are going to be so strong for Paradigm. The initial burst, once he uses that accelerate, they want to be able to go all in.
That's a good point. I mean, Funballer is nearly two levels above everybody on the enemy team right now, and that includes the tanks, which is one of the things you want a little bit heavier to be able to weather the storm of the massive amount of damage a Chronos will do.
And Trixtank just popping the Mad Guy's Blessing onto Callus. It's going to be reliant on Trixtank and Lawbster to proc that Mad Guy's Blessing, but going to proc a death probably onto Deathwalker. Thorn's going to be used, but it's not enough.
Rally, but at the same time, Xaliea has it too. Athena's on the way back in, so extra protections online for the solo laner. I don't think they're going to be able to find a kill here, but they did get the purification. Oh my gosh, they turned that one around somehow. Deathwalker secures the kill onto Xaliea, but meanwhile on the left-hand side, we got another fight going on.
And we see Wlfy caught in a very awkward spot, forced to use the Sanctuary, but he's going to get taunted back and trying to body block his Callus, Thunder crashing away with the last second.
This shows a skill that Cyclone really have it, be able to survive this one. I say that as iceicebabyy unfortunately falls on the left-hand side. VoteNBK can't help, and VoteNBK does not have a tower to fall back to here, so he may just have to fight this.
Oh, didn't have available the jump, walking into Funballer's in-hand 3-for-1 trade as the dust settles. And on the right-hand side, we saw a beautiful bait from Deathwalker with the Athena damage mitigation. Once she landed, immediately Shell meditation, and that's what allowed Deathwalker to stay alive.
I mean, it was Curse and Shell both used, but the Shell meditation was the biggest point there. Very, very well played by Callus, combining with Deathwalker to keep him up and bring down the very good aggression from Paradigm. Talking about aggression though, left-hand side, Lawbster starting to push those minions into a tier 2 now.
Just trying to get as much farm as possible. He wants to match Funballer's farm. Those 2 mages are going to be doing so much damage. Looking at Cyclone's items, they don't really have that much magical defense. We see too much physical out on the side of iceicebabyy.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with that one. Wlfy though, Book of Thoth online and stacking up now, and he's had a very good impact in this game so far. His damage looks a little bit lower than I expected it to be, a little bit lower than Trixtank, who got off to a great start, but those drums of war that he got on Lawbster earlier on really show that he knows how to play this god.
Yeah, Lawbster also top second player damage currently. That's going to very increase as the game progresses. 21 minutes in, 9-14 in favor of Paradigm. Golfier respawning in about a minute, but this could be a point where Paradigm, they're going to be leaning towards Fire Giant.
They leaned on the speed buff just then and got it for free. Left-hand side, you can see Callus trying to swing around into the jungle and cut off the option to find out what's going on, but Paradigm happy to zone that away and take the blue buff, and now Siege is a 5-man unit here and forced to teleport out of Deathwalker to this side.
5-on-5 fight. It's going to be very dependent on the engage from Paradigm. They don't want to overcommit Callus. Bad Guy's Blessing, yet again, being procced by the Trixtank.
We mentioned Callus there. I mean, if you can charge and actually find a taunt when his teammates are in range, it may help them out. I've seen a couple of them from him going aggressive, but just no real follow-up. Maybe just looking for the Medjais out of Trixtank if they can. But look at where Xaliea is right now. He's on the left-hand side behind them here, quite happy to swing around. They've got a ward placed very deep there behind this tier 2, just in case anyone tries to sneakily come from the jungle of Cyclone.
Funballer wants to get initiated on. He was in the laning phase for so long. Going to get taunted out using the purification. A little awkward positioning, but he still has rewind, and he's so aggressive finding the stun. iceicebabyy barely able to escape.
Only just gets out of the danger field, but it did force the shell of Callus as well there. iceicebabyy holds onto his ultimate, will have to fall back to base, but all the while, what did Paradigm do? Split push, tactical advantage, take a tier 2, and now they fall back to the Fire Giant that's been pulled.
This is a different style from QvoFred compared to the early game. Instead of diving the tower, going for kills, now he's thinking more objectively, finding the tier 2 mid. And Paradigm, they're going for this Fire Giant. It's about half health currently. VoteNBK sees it from a distance, but Xalia's going to zone him out.
But he needs some support here if he needs anything. Lawbster's actually zoning 3 members away in the mid lane, or at least keeping them busy. But they should be focusing onto him and QvoFred. They need to be over at the Fire Giant. VoteNBK, though, going to slow them down, and Lawbster is going to fall down in mid lane from Cyclone there. And VoteNBK on his own stop them doing Fire Giant.
NBK a little low, but it doesn't matter because the rest of his team is right behind him. Xaliea, he doesn't have his ultimate available.
This is the biggest issue that we see out of Paradigm multiple times. They make a decision and then split their mind. We had 2 in mid lane, 3 at the Fire Giant, and 2 in mid lane with damage dealers as well. And in the end, it gives us advantage for Cyclone to be potentially come back into this.
Right as I said, QvoFred was thinking more objectively. His team was trying to do too much there. They tried to split between middle and Fire Giant at this stage, was too ambitious. They needed to just regroup and take the win.
Turn on to Funballer. He's going to get hit by a bludgeon too, but the Sanctuary will keep him alive for now. Qvo to the back, focuses on VoteNBK, who jumps in place, and he goes down to QvoFred. Pin from Trixtank, make sure Wlfy falls too, and now Paradigm back on the offensive.
3 on 4 in the favor of Paradigm. They're not done yet. They're finding a stun onto Deathwalker. No ultimate for him. He's trying to find a return kill, but Rewind is not going to allow it.
Really wise to go aggressive down to Funballer and try and turn it and make it a 1-for-1, but in the end, Funballer was wise to his shenanigans, and Paradigm, well, they didn't even lose a tier 1 tower in mid there overall. Cyclone unable to find it.
Just not able to find the objectives, and yet again, Paradigm, they're going to continue to look for the late game Fire Giant objective. This time they're going to group up with the respawn from Xaliea. His teleport is available, should regroup here momentarily. Only iceicebabyy around to defend this.
But he does have his ultimate available, and he's trying to get around the back, but Trixtank, he knows how to defend Fire Giants. He's had to deal with many supports coming in with Rafts to steal it away. And look at Trix, happy to trade out with the Assassin there, using that ultimate to great advantage. But it's taken a while to do the Fire Giant. They also get it for free, though. It's a nice pickup as Susano on the right is still being pressured, because guess who's back? Back again. Xalia's back. Tell the jungler.
And QvoFred is going to be that jungler. He's going to try to find the brutalized connect, but iceicebabyy disengage, and Trixtank going to find the knock-up and the jump. QvoFred securing the kill with the Fire Giant. It's going to be an easy tier 2 tower on the right.
Yeah, with the turret there as well, just to remove some backdoor protections. As they always say, those turrets do help out quite a bit. The tier 2 will fall on the right-hand side. Only 1 tier 2 remaining now on the side of Cyclone, and it is on this left-hand side.
Look at Funballer just casually grabbing speed and blue while the tier 2 tower on the right. They could have used that DPS on the tower.
But I guess they just knew they weren't going to get anybody aggressing onto them, so why not split the DPS and maybe just get more objectives in gold? You know?
Well, like in a situation where there's a team defending the tower, you want to have all your forces to be able to get the tower, especially Chronos late game. You're going to just kill the tower that much faster, and then you can get the buffs after the tower anyway.
Well, Susano being down, we didn't see Cyclone defend that one. Let's go to the left-hand side though and see, do you want to see him defend the tier 2 on the left here, Cyclone, with the 5-man unit?
Absolutely not. It's less than half health, Fire Giant on Paradigm. There's no real reasoning to overcommit in this option. You're already losing the team fights hard enough as it is. You want to be able to defend these Phoenixes and use that short distance between the Phoenix and the Fountain to constantly heal and go back into the team fight.
Well, only the 3rd goal for the game taken here, and it will go the way of Paradigm one more time. Nobody around from Cyclone here. And this is basically just going to defend at the Phoenixes with the Fire Giant on the side of everybody at Paradigm. They have the opportunity to just choose when they aggress.
Paradigm are slowing the game down now after that Gold Fury. They're going to be able to get this last tier 2 tower, which will ultimately weaken the Titan that much more of Cyclone, and they're probably going to commit to that left side Phoenix with Fire Giant still on them for 2 more minutes.
And that's why we see people take all the towers down. It's not just for the gold though, is it? It actually weakens the Titan, the end objective of the game, making it less health, less damage, less survivability, makes it a lot easier overall to actually bring it and end the game.
And you want to make the most efficiency out of your Fire Giant buff. Use it till the very last second. It helps you destroy these objectives that much quicker, so why not get the Gold Fear? Why not go for the last remaining tower anyway?
Well, Callus there lost his Magi's Blessing one more time. Has sovereignty online now as well, and he picks up the Shell and the Meditation. He's had a pretty good game in terms of defensive options. His offensive taunts have been a little bit lackluster this game, I want to say.
Ever since the kill in the mid lane onto Lawbster, when he forced the purification around the Gold Fury, and then they found a kill with Wlfy, there hasn't been really much presence between Callus and Wlfy. They've been on the defensive the whole time.
QvoFred though bought a little bit more off than he could chew there. That's saying something for a giant wolf dog. Meanwhile, the rest of Paradigm sieging down mid lane now, and they're actually turning their attention to Deathwalker, who's quite tanky here, pops the thorns. That's why he gets out, because nobody really wants to whack away at their own health pool.
Look at NBK's health off of 1 meatball backfire. He's out of this team fight completely, and now the aggression for Paradigm. They're going to get this mid Phoenix for free.
I know it's how it's the damage dealers that are just left there to do it. Good taunt though coming out from Callus. There's no follow-up from his team, however. Weren't in position. Now Callus going to get run down by the doggy and brought back on a merry adventure into Paradigm territory.
5 on 4 now. The remaining, are they going to go for another Phoenix, or are they going to go for that? And it looks like they're going to go for left instead, playing it very carefully.
But the Eagles rally comes out from Deathwalker, followed by the Typhoons. The drums of war were sounded by the Raijin too, but it's not enough damage to bring anybody down, and instead Deathwalker is now isolated, alone, collapsed on, and brought down by Fenrir.
And NBK forces use the Sanctuary. Great disengage from QvoFred, not going into the Fountain to get that tick. Titan taking a little bit of damage, but still, regardless, Paradigm slowing it down. They're going for that left side alongside Phoenix.
Yeah, they could have actually looked to end if they so choose here. I mean, there's 3 members still dead for a few more seconds. If they can get 1 more kill here, but it is the damage dealers left, and the damage dealers can do a lot. But saying that, VoteNBK lost all his health to Lawbster and that turret.
And now the last remaining Phoenix for Cyclone does go down. Paradigm, they have a wave attacking the Titan. They have a lot of damage with Fire Giant. They're going to be able to get the second game and get 3 more points.
Paradigm climb themselves up to 4 points in the Pro League after day 2 in Europe. Good decision and good play from them. And I believe that puts them around 2nd at the moment in the Pro League after just 2 days of play.
Yeah, great performance, I would say, from Paradigm so far after 2 days. Finding the split against Panthera, finding the 2 wins against CycloneGG, just right behind Hungry for More.
But we do have 2 teams left to play today, and you can see them both sat there at the bottom of the points and bottom of the games for today. Cringe Crew versus Leftovers is our next matchup up, and at least one of those teams will get a point.
They have to find something here because being in the bottom this early on, it makes it that much more difficult. We did see Hungry for More last split. They were struggling early on in the first half of the season, so you never really know up until some roster changes happen, maybe. Well,
Funballer on the side of Paradigm had a very good game for himself there. Played the Chronos in the game 2 and got off to a good decision and good play throughout.
He was just so aggressive the whole time. He found the kills. He found the rewinds when it was so necessary. And this is what Paradigm do. They just leave Funballer alone 1v2. Finally, we see the rotation coming out of Lawbster.
Yeah, this fight, we didn't actually catch most of this one on that right-hand side. There was one going on the right-hand side at the same time here. But the juke boost is what's really important to stay away from the Susano as well. He bought a lot of time for Lawbster to be able to come in here and really support him.
And the issue was also that CycloneGG, they didn't have much magical defense to survive against Funballer and Lawbster. They were pretty more physical damage oriented.
We got the laugh?
More of a taunt.
It was a taunt, okay. I mean, to be fair, he left. I love the decision for VoteNBK. He knew he was dead. Why not try and take someone out? I can't take out Lawbster. I'll go for Funballer.
If he connected with that leap, he would have probably found the impale, the in-hand after, at least find a return kill.
Worthy attempt from Cyclone today. Don't be too disappointed if you're a Cyclone fan at home. They have good things coming for them as they try and make it to Worlds.
And more good things coming out of Worlds. You can head on over to hi-rezexpo.com to get your SWC tickets right now.
Get your tickets right now. Come see me, Toli, and some of the best teams in Europe, North America, and the rest of the world, including China, Latin America, Brazil, and Australia. But that's it from me and Toli for today. I hope you all enjoyed Europe. We do have one more set to come, though, which will be the Cringe Crew versus Leftovers. Yay! I nearly forgot. Take it easy. We'll see you later.